Ready!
Hello guys, I hope you guys are doing well today. So for today's video, I got something special. This is gonna be a video doing an analysis on Moonsault Slayer and DeeAllTheWayGee's beef set that they done in my Call stream. I'll be using the replays, of course, since it's much better quality, so that I can then explain some of the things that Moonsault Slayer as well as DeeAllTheWayGee has done correctly and what they could have done better in their matchups. So without further ado, I want to go in and do the analysis. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so I will be pausing a lot in the video to showcase exactly what the player has done correctly or what they've done wrong. In this case, Moon does his full crash on Fort 4. But then opting to go into Kensho 3, which D then punishes. But the problem is that I wouldn't do this at round start at all without having conditioned the player enough. I would probably do it against somebody at a lower rank since they're often not going to react to it, but somebody who is a GOD has probably more experience and will be able to then block it. But D for some reason decides to go into while standing 4-4 instead of going into while standing 2 to punish it and then launch. Maybe he wasn't ready, so that could be the case. Catches the spin with his grab and then goes into Oki. This particular grab especially goes into an Oki state, which if he does can get an down forward 3 for the launch. Moon decided to go into a wake up low kick to catch him, which is not a good idea in this case since he's knocked down face down. What he could attempt to do instead is simply just stand right up and then block the incoming down forward 3. As you saw, if you do so and you know the setup, you can just simply just stand right up, block it, and then launch accordingly. Ends up predicting the flash, but does not launch. D instead goes into a black flip for some reason, and then does this. This was really bad in the case of Moon. He goes into Poison Breath, but then goes into Samurai Cutter. He whiffs the Poison Breath, but still wants to set up a Samurai Cutter right afterwards, which is not a good idea. Seeing that one, he back rolled away, so he made space for himself to get away from the Poison Breath, and in this case also the Samurai Cutter setup, and then decides to go into Heat Smash, which is a good idea in the case of D. Breaks the command grab, goes for Power Crush, into pressing buttons, get caught by down 4-1-4. Trying to bait out a counter hit launch, but then D, instead of punishing that and even going for down forward 3 would have been best. He had to launch Moon and get the combo going and kill, but then goes for up forward 2 instead. Moon being the kind of person he is, he likes to go into CD1 to catch players off guard. I would not have done this. I would have gone for down forward 2 instead. This is -13. This does launch the opponent if they do get caught by it though. But then Moon, instead of going into a down 4-1-4 or 2-2 for mix-up, decides to risk it all and go into CD1. Fight. Baits the flash. He knew that he was going to go into flash, but does not launch. Nice going on D's case here. Messes up there, tries to go into that to get a bit of air time to get the wall, but then he messes up. But then he's not mashing Heat Burst here. He's not mashing it, but I don't know why he goes for it. He gets caught by the unblockable low. Trying to get a little bit of wall carry. Mix up time. The Yoshi here could have gone for a spin to get away from the Heat Smash since he did whip the first hit. This is only guaranteed on a counter hit for the Eddie's case. I don't know why he decides to go into backspin, which he's not really plus in that situation. Nice going, and the correct punish. Okay, this time he doesn't respect the flash and actually goes for the hit.
Round 3. Fight.
That's minus 13. You could decide to go for full crush on forward 4, but if he noticed that he's going to go for that, he could have blocked it and then launched it. So doing wall standing 1-2 would have been the better option. But then I don't know why he decides to go for a wall standing 2-1. Okay, he got the head off of full crush on forward 4, but what are the chances that he might not press right afterwards? Most people don't even press if they get hit by full crush on forward 4. Nice bait. Try to bait for flash, but goes into heat burst. Nice spin to get away and gets the launch. Okay, this is something else that Moon likes to do often, that he would go for the damage at the wall, doesn't go for anything else, and then decides to go for some kind of unblockable setup to catch D here. But since he knew that he can just get up immediately and then go for back to 3 and catch his Moon with this launch. Not a really good combo for optimization. This really irks me as a Yoshi player as well. I don't know why you would go for Kensho 3 and not take the opportunity to go into up back 1+2, but he does this. And he does this often in the later sets. I'm going to be skipping some of the sets, of course, so we can see exactly how much they adapt in the later sets instead of going through each and every single one. The video would be too long if we do that. But Moon likes to do the setup where he does several Kensho 3s if they get hit good, and then doesn't go for the up back 1+2, goes again into Kensho to go into back 2-1 to get the launch. Doesn't take the opportunity to go for either like a jab string or something. Trying to bait the side step 3+4 for the launch. Gets caught by that. Unfortunately, the Yoshi doesn't get down 2. This is very launch punishable. D could have went for down 4-3 here, but doesn't do anything. And now he gets the bait. He does land this. He does end up winning, but you can still see what's going to happen next.
Round 4. Fight.
This was a very scatterbrain moment for both players, I feel, because they both decided to go for something huge. Yoshimitsu going into up forward 2, which if it gets blocked, gets launched. Of course, if you get the counter hit, you get the launch. But in this case, it doesn't hit Eddie here. In the Eddie here decides to go for, I think this is either down back 1+2 or back 1+2. I'm not too sure from the command inputs. And yes, if the Yoshi were to press anything big, he probably would get launched. But in this case, you know, they both whiff. And then I don't know why Moon decides to go for CD1. He fails to go for up forward 2, decides to then catch Eddie with CD1, but then again, D doesn't punish it with a launch. D here thought that Kensho down 1 was launchable. It's not. It's minus 13. So this gives you a big hint that D only really knows superficial knowledge of Yoshimitsu's matchup, but the same can be said in the case of Moon against Eddie. Nice bait. Nice going. Catches him with the hell sweep. Okay, nice. Now he wins the game, but gets too greedy and goes for the hell sweep. Mind you, if Eddie gets 4-4-3 on counter hit, he gets a free 4-3 from stance. But then I don't know why Moon doesn't go for a hop kick here. Or in this case, since he managed to actually block it, he can go into wall standing 2-1 for the launch. Either way, he would have gone launch, but in this case, he gets it from Kensho back 2-1. Trying to set up. D ends up going into a side roll, into a wake up low kick, gets hit by the follow-up, NSS into Samurai Cutter follow-up, which guarantees you either 2-1 or back 2-2.
Final round. Fight.
Okay, next mix. Nice going on the read, but decides to go into that. That's unfortunate though. In this case, the matchup is definitely more skewed to Yoshimitsu with the spin, so Eddie really couldn't do much of anything here unless he has a homie move he can use in handstand. Or then again, he could decide to go into, let's say, his resting stance and just mix up there with the stance mix-ups. Gets crouch jab. If Moon were to go for multiple silly slaps into that, the crouching down back twos, he can go for flash immediately and catch the crouch jab, or even just going for, let's say if the opponent were to go for a hop kick or some kind, he'll stick a hit by flash. Nice going on here. He catches the up forward, I think the up forward 3 into the follow-up, but then doesn't opt to go into flash again, which is strange. Again, baits the flash, doesn't do anything. He just goes for his hatchet kick, gets caught. And then wins the round. This could have been D's match if he didn't fail to then launch Yoshimitsu when he did the flash. Alright, we're skipping a bunch of sets that they already done already, so to get to this particular point, to see how will they adapt. This is a bad choice from Moon. If you don't confirm from 3 slide 4, which is not easy to do to be honest, and going to Dragonfly stance is a big risk, you can actually get jabbed out. Nice, gets to the second stack, catches him with the heat smash. But then again, I would have done instead this. That's what I would have done. I would have done instead QCF into 4. It has almost a similar range to heat smash, or more so than heat smash, and you get the hit off and you're +9 if they do block. And you don't have to waste all your heat gauge to just do that. Nice. D often doesn't really go into a duck whenever Moonsault Slayer does his 3-1. 3-1, at least at this level, he should be able to duck it, but he doesn't duck it. He does it often, 3-1, but he never ducks the 3-1. Try to bait into the command grab. Breaks the generic. Nice going. That's fine, but just in case, I would just went for 4-3 instead.
Fight.
Nice break. This is punishable. I don't know why D didn't go for at least a jab string. Ah, that was weird. Not a good choice. Doesn't block it, which is fine. Gets caught again. Goes for the spin, but wasn't able to escape. Nice touch on D, managing to punish the full crush on forward 4 with 192. Again, does not punish it. Nah, that's not fair. That should have worked for D there. He likes to go for up forward 3 for whatever reason. Nice! Oh, it doesn't even take the opportunity to kill. Does not launch. So even in, I think like 6 or 7 sets that I skipped, he is still not launching CD1.
Round 3. Fight.
Which also means that D does not know the matchup all that much. He only has superficial knowledge of the character, like I said, and same thing with Moon. But he does know that. Ah, that would have been close. If he got in closer, he would have caught the Yoshi. What the hell is Moon doing? He could have actually crouch jab there. That's actually unsafe, what he just did right there, but he didn't know. He can just go for something 4 to beat it. Nice bait. Alright, just one more hit, and there we go. Alright, this is the very last set that they do. This is basically the winning set for Moon, if he does win it, which he did, of course. But let's continue on with the analysis. He goes into up forward 2, which again, very risky at round start, because if they block it, you get launched. Gets caught by this. Yeah, he's getting destroyed. Again, doesn't get up immediately. I was assuming they might go for the Moonsault Slayer. Sorry, what the fuck am I saying? I meant to say Samurai Cutter. Again, does not know that you can actually beat this. It's very easy, actually. He already blocked it, so he could just simply just go for spamming 4, or sending 4 to beat it. Okay, nice going. Pretty cool setup. If he was slightly lower at the ground, he could get the Oki, but he still got it. And then instead of going into 4-3, which would have still won the game anyways, but if Moon would have broken the grab, that would have been his fault.
Round 2. Fight.
Nice bait. This is not launch. This is minus 13. He could have went for down 4-1-3 to end it right there. Gets caught. That's unfortunate. I don't know if he's trying to go for like a wake up attack or something. Nice break. Good, good. The Yoshi lost health doing the spin, so he is able to get away from that. Nice block, could have ducked it. Ah, he waited too long. Again, Moon is not punishing with the flash. He could have flashed right here. This is very risky for D to do. I don't know why he's doing that. Like, Moon has nothing to lose here. He has more health than him. So, I don't understand. Okay, baiting out the flash. Does he get it? He got it. Ah, he pressed buttons.
Round 3. Fight.
Again, very unsafe. I don't know why he's doing that. He could have actually got the grab there, but he was too slow. Nice going. He saw that in the other set, said he was ducking the back turn down 1. Doesn't break rainbow drop. Okay, I would have went for up 4-1-1 in my opinion. Okay, gets the break. I can see why he's getting killed. He's trying to like do a back roll to get away. Did he catch him? Ah, unfortunately he didn't. I think I would have been caught. And of course here Moon is being, you know, being a dick. He's trying to rile him up essentially. That would have been a good answer, but he was just too slow doing it and gets caught by Kencho back 2-1. This is him literally just messing around with D at this point, because he already has like 9 straight wins and D has like only 5. Dead. He would have been dead here, but he decides to go for more shenanigans instead of just getting the kill. didn't go for 4-3, he would have got the heat engager right there. Watch. See, just went on that and just waited out. The bait out if he was gonna go for flash. That's what I would have done, at least as Eddie. Why would you go for that? Wait, he lost. All right, so for the summary, both players do not know the matchup all that well. Dee only really has a superficial knowledge of Yoshi, so does Moon with Eddie. Both players need to at least improve their punishes against each other. And I will say that in the case of Moon, he needs to improvise better with his combos. I feel like a lot of the times he just goes for setups more times than not. He could be earning more wins if he just gets better with optimizing his combos. In fact, he would have been GOD by now if not for the fact that he's not optimizing his combos and he's not punishing the things he should be punishing coherently. Not coherently, sorry. Appropriately, if that makes sense. In Dee's case, Dee is being way too respectful against Yoshi, which I understand why. He's afraid that he might get hit by flash and that the Yoshi might go for spin to get away. But the oftentimes that he has baited out flash, he's not launching it. There are sets that he has actually baited the flash and launched in the case of Moon's attempt of going to flash, but afterwards he just forgets to do it again for some reason. So this tells me that Dee doesn't really have much reaction, I guess, if that makes sense, to then beat out flash with a launch, because he could be going for down forward 3 to launch it, which he's not doing. Another thing also is that Dee is going for the same mix-ups often against Yoshimitsu. He has other setups he can go for, but he's not really doing that. And when he does get the wall, oftentimes he messes up the exact way how to get the Oki going at the wall. So he needs to work on that as well if he wants to improve. But again, he's already a GOD, so it's whatever. But if he's attempting to get better as a player, then I still think that he should work on that. If he were to fight somebody with better experience over how to properly engage Eddie, he would have a tougher time. But in this case, Moon does not know the matchup, and Dee in this case doesn't know the matchup all that well either, because he would have actually won more times than not if he knew how to punish Yoshimitsu in this matchup. So without further ado, if you guys like this kind of analysis, let me know. Like the video, subscribe to see more of my shit, and of course, stay tuned, stay safe.